Hey everyone, this is Bella. Happy Friday. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a monochromatic paint. Just a simple one, okay? Just something very simple for you to maybe enjoy and practice a little bit. So what's monochromatic means? Monochromatic means one color. And even we are saying one color, we are using more than one color, but it's important for you to know what it is. So the color I'm talking about, it is the blue, but I'm going to use those two to tone it out, to tone it down, to tone it up, and to make it this dark, to make this light, okay? But I want you to know that. I also am using 3 brushes. So my 3 brushes are like a larger one, medium one, and very tiny one, okay? I have a napkin here, I have a small canvas, and I'm just going to start to map a little bit my canvas, and I'm trying to figure that out, what I'm going to do first. I like to always know how big is my sky, how big is going to be water or any other things, because that way this is when we say our horizon line, okay? So I am going to just map a little bit, but first I'm going to make a nice light blue, because I want to make it my background very light. Hi Marina, thank you for watching. Let me know where you're watching from, okay? That would be awesome to know. All right, so now I'm making a very light blue, because that's how I'm going to mark stuff. And then I'm going to just put it over here, a little line for me to know some limits I have. You don't have to make a line, but I'm just like, okay, this is where things are going to start to change a little bit, okay? And I'm going to make my background super light, so I'm gonna go back and forth. Super light with this color. And then things are going to start to change. I'm just putting over there a light color sky, okay? Then I'm going to start to getting a blue over here. But this time, my blue, I'm just gonna add a little bit more, and I want a little darker than what I did to make my next mountain, which is a very far away mountain I'm making right now. But it has to be darker than my sky, okay? And I'm just putting over there. And like I said, it's a simple, very simple painting, but it's good for you to train and for you to know a little bit about your colors, about your brush strokes. It's very good to practice things sometimes. Even if you feel like, oh, I don't know a lot about theory, it's okay. It's great to know theory, but it's good to train the practical stuff too. It's very important. Okay? So I'm just putting over there. And mountains are pretty interesting. This one is far away, so it doesn't have a lot of details. So I'm just adding over there. And now I'm going to start to add a little bit more blue to this blue, okay? So because I want to make sure I know what I'm doing, and I know it's not too different. So it's a little darker than it was before. And I'm going to that's one interesting thing over here, is to make the mountain. And sometimes we just go with our eyes and do exactly the same. You want to do something different. Maybe you want to do taller over here this time. Shorter, maybe longer here. Because it's easy to just make it all the same. I don't know for you, but for me it is. I tend to copy the same thing. It's kind of interesting. And I'm just putting over there to make it fun and interesting and different, okay? I like to paint the sides of my canvas just because I don't know if I'm going to frame or not, but I like to know. I like to make them cool and easy later. All right. Maybe I'll do this one a little taller too. Then I'm going to now add more blue to my color over here. And I want it darker than it was before, but not too dark yet. Just a little darker, yep. And then, same thing, you want to add in some places, to change in other ones. And like I said, this is a very simple painting, but you can study so much doing something like this. The way you touch the painting there, the amount of paint you put it on. It's very cool how a little study like this can be something fun for you to put in the kitchen or in the basement or any other place, okay? But it's not about like, oh, I'm going to hang, I'm going to sell. Not about that. It's about to learn. So I'm going to add one more, and then I'm going to make a nice dark one before I go super dark. And like I said, we don't need to go how can I say? You don't have to go super tall or anything like this. You just need to do the study you're doing here. You can pass sometimes. And that's a great training also for mountains, because mountains they look so easy, but they're not. Once you start to add details on them, they can be interesting. So it's good for you to go and try something completely different and be like, study of mountains over here. That's what I'm doing today. It's a good thing. So I have different mountains there, and maybe I just add a little bit more mountain here, and then I can start to add some trees. So I'm gonna go with my smaller brush now. So I want to make things to like a darker than what it is. So I have here my blue, and this blue is getting closer. So maybe that's how I want to do it. So I'm just going to start to work on my trees. And it's like foliage. They're maybe not trees yet. Maybe they're just like the wild out there. And you can just dab. You see, like, it changed completely the way I'm doing now, because now we are talking about texture. And that's another study. It's very interesting when we start to study texture, things change. The way you touch your brush, the way you touch your canvas. It's very cool to study this. That's a fun way to do it. Doing something cute, and at the same time studying the way you touch your brush, the way you do things. So I'm making like a nice foliage type of a thing. Maybe now you want to do a little darker than that, and you're going to start to add tiny black to your blue. And be careful, because it's a very dark color and it's a very powerful color. So maybe you want to do in a very different way here. And that's a way for you to study monochromatic, which it means one color. And when I say one color, we are considering blue is the only color. Everything else, we are adding to make the blue different. So I'm not gonna go deep on this yet because this is just the easy tips. If you want to know a little more about stuff, the way I teach you in a way where I feel you don't need to know these things yet. You need to just train your hands and how you do things. Then it's a little bit more intuition type, okay? Because a lot of people don't like theory, and I'm one of them. So now I am just going to add a little more foliage over here. And you can even make them a little more. Sometimes they pass the blue just because you want to make a little different. The way I do this trees, I have a way to do it, and I like to always make a point. I like to do that later, but I'm just starting to build them a little more. And it is pretty dark, but it's still not black yet. But it's pretty dark, pretty close to black, but it's not. So it's a lot of like dabbing going here and there because we want to make it nice and interesting. But that's a very easy one. If you make it bigger, I can show you how am I doing. Let me just get a little bit something over here for you to see my trees. Let me find something easy for you to see. So I like to do my trees like very Debbie. I go very careful when I make like a zigzag like this. Then I start to grow them a little more, okay? That way, it looks good. And they look like trees later. And you see like it is dark color. And because it's in a wild, you want to make them different heights too. You don't want them make them obvious. You want to make them a little bit tall, a little bit not so tall. And then work over here. And always making a point because the point makes look like the tree. And it's nice to work on them. Very nice to just be like super careful and work with them. And then make the last ones here super, super, super dark. It's almost black. But it still have the blue because we're doing a monochromatic. So it's really not just black. But it almost like it look like, but not really. It's just dark, dark, dark. And you see, it's just a simple painting, but imagine this in a very big scale. It's very, very cool. And you can do in different colors too. It's very nice. So you just test it and try to do in different colors. Studying the colors is a great thing to do. And I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Well, it's not really a tutorial, it's like just a little lesson, a little tip. But because we kind of like accomplished something, it looked like a tutorial. But I am so glad to be here. Thank you so much for watching. And if you can, leave in the comments, even if you're watching the replay, you just put a hashtag the replay. And if you want to talk with me, if you want to ask a questions, or if you want to just say your paint and what type of media you use, I would love to talk with you and connect with you. I also have a group called Art Club Online Facebook group. So come over there and join us. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great Friday. Thank you.